Why is it not fucking playing the song? What a bitch. Hold on. What the fuck just happened? Fucking shithead. Hey, what's up? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, and friend us at facebook.com/the Hardy Construction with your host Alex and...
Oh, baby!
I should have telegraphed that you were going to do that. Alright, so today's film is...
Oh, baby!
1983's Dead Zone, directed by David Cronenberg, written by Jeffrey Boehm, based on the Stephen King novel.
It was written by Stephen King.
Starring Christopher Walken, Brooke Adams, and Tom Skerritt. And the film is about a man awakens from a coma to discover he has psychic detective ability.
Oh my god.
That's it.
Did they actually say detective ability?
Yeah, he's not really detecting shit in the film. I think once you psychically know something, you can just know the
That's
answer.
stupid. Why do they say that?
Because the second half of in the middle of the film, it becomes a serial killer drama. Where he's
I know, but he doesn't have a psychic detective ability. He has a psychic ability that he uses as a detective.
Shut the fuck up. Alright, so... No, I'm just kidding. Christopher Walken plays...
Johnny Smith.
Johnny Smith is a young New England school teacher who is in love with his colleague Sarah Bracknell. Brooke Adams. Was Brooke Adams in the remake for the Body Snatchers? She has those weird eyeballs where... Because in the Body Snatchers, there's a lady who does this thing with her eyes in the film that's really creepy. But
She's
I can't
in an
tell.
episode of Frasier.
She was in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1978 version. I never saw that one, but I just remember that scene. And she is a fellow teacher at their school, and god damn it, I really try to go every episode without saying and I do it every time.
It's impossible not to.
I do. You don't. I do, because I'm stupid.
I do it too.
So Christopher Walken's playing Johnny Smith. Is he a junior high school teacher?
It looked like they were pretty young and luscious, yeah.
So he's going around telling these kids his bullshit classes. Oh god, school must have sucked in the 70s, right? It must have been really boring. School sucked in, whatever years we went. But,
School always sucks. Wait, what is that Pink song? If you're too school for cool.
Oh god.
You don't understand, I hear that all the time at my job and I want to fucking kill myself. And then the razor glass, and then when she goes, that sucks. Like, I actually think she's so fucking lame, and I want to make her eat broken glass. Watch her, swallow it and die.
So, Johnny, who is Christopher Walken, has a cool haircut in the beginning of the film, and his glasses on.
His hair is so absurd, that man.
Yeah, he starts out with a cool, mop top.
He looks like fucking Harry Potter.
At the beginning, he does, actually, with his glasses on. And he's talking to his students, he's like, I want you to read Sleepy Hollow. That's pretty bad.
You just did a John Travolta Christopher Walken.
They're all the same guy. Also, I know I gave shit to David Cronenberg for his opening credits in what was that? Scanners, Shitters, and the opening credits in this one are even more perplexing because they make no fucking sense. I
like the way that the Dead Zone logo comes up.
Yeah, but it's shots of buildings and nature, and then the word kind of just comes into frame, and it's just like, what the fuck would I just see? And just start the movie.
I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Get out of here. So the only opening credits should be like Watchmen. That's good opening credits. So anyway, Johnny's with his bride to be, another teacher. What the hell did I just say her name was? Kim or something like that?
I don't know.
Some fucking hooah.
Sarah.
Some hooah named Sarah. They really make
Sarah's the name.
They make women look really bad in this film.
She looks like a teacher I had for sculpture class.
How sweet. So Sarah and him go on a date after work, and he's like, I got a surprise for you. And they go to an amusement park. And one of the greatest... This is about as epic as, when Spider-Man got bit by his spider, or, Batman's parents got killed. His origin of superpower is going on a roller coaster ride.
And having a moment of weird feeling.
You think that happens when only two people ride a roller coaster? That's what happens to you. You get one person at least gets a superpower from it. That's just
I've never been on a roller coaster with only one other person. I'll have to try this.
Even the people that test it, there's at least 3 people, so you can't get superpowers.
In the book, they explain it a lot better.
Yeah, give us a little background on the book because
it's been years since I read the book, so I'm a little shaky on it. But basically, I think as a kid, he fell on his head on some ice or something. I think he was like ice skating. I could be completely wrong, whatever. And then like, you know, it goes away, and then he goes in that coma, and it comes back again.
He knocked a part of his brain that activated this power.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not.
I could be, you know, I'm actually pretty damn shaky on it. But one thing that I remember in the book that is not in the movie at all is like this whole Greg Stilson character. Like they barely get into him.
He's not in the book at all.
He's in the book a lot.
Oh, they just don't bother with it.
There's like cool shit in there, like he kills a dog and stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff that happens that they don't really show.
I gotta say though, I really like this fucking movie though. I really liked it. Like it's really good.
I like it too. I just wish they got more into Greg Stilson.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they needed to inject a bad guy at the end of the film.
Like you barely even realize that he has like a tumor and stuff. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's weird because the film, within an hour of the film, there's so much information. It's kind of like The Fly that Cronenberg did. That there was so much information on screen that you didn't really need to see any unnecessary sequences. And I think this film does the same kind of thing. It doesn't have anything in it that doesn't seem unnecessary. Like, if there is something that would be considered unnecessary, it's more of a character development that works.
Like but that little kid that he's tutoring?
Right. Everything in the film is essential for the movie. And what's funny enough is, if the movie ended at 1 hour, I would have been fine with it. Because there was so much stuff that I saw. Like, you know the part where they finished up the serial killer part?
Yeah.
Like, by then, that would have been a film by itself, I think. Like, it was almost like an hour. Because let's just get into the beginning. So this guy drives his girl home. Johnny drives Sarah home, and he does probably the most boneheaded thing I've ever seen in my life. She's like, "Oh, why don't you come up?" And he's like, "Oh, you know, it's worth the wait." And
he's trying to be a gentleman. That's what you get for this is the moral of the story.
I would have been up
there. Gentleman, you're gonna get in a car accident, go into a coma, and become a psychic.
I would have been up there fucking and sucking, and you know. Anyway. He probably could have been up there under a glass table, letting her take a dump over it. All the freaky shit that he wanted. You can tell she was into
had like this whole setup.
Letting it wait. Who does that?
Well, I don't know. And they seem to be dating for quite a while. I mean, he's gonna marry her. What are you not having sex for? Come on, stop being a little fucking bitch.
Maybe he had a really small dick. That's what it is.
That might be it.
He probably had just testicles. And
that's part of. That's
it was like, what am I
going to
do?
Psychic.
He probably, you know what it is?
Power shrinks your penis.
If he knew he was going to get laid, he probably had to go get a huge kielbasa and then turn off the lights while he's fucking her. Then he had to lie like he was having. He's like, "Oh, this is good. This is great." She's like, "Why can't we ever have kids?" I don't know, honey. Anyway, I won't do the voice anymore. But he decides to take a car ride home and furiously jerk. Oh, just to go back with the small penis thing. There's a guy who had 100-pound testicles. I saw in the news lately. And they offered to give him a free.
Is that the guy on Howard Stern?
I don't know.
There's a guy on Howard Stern with huge testicles.
They were offering $1 million surgery for free to, you know, get rid of all this excess testicular.
Why would it cost $1 million?
I don't know. You think, you know, people would be cool. You know, you see a guy in trouble, you know, you help him out. Fucking doctors, man. Anyway, he says the funny thing. Well, it's disturbing. He can't find his dick, so he actually has to urinate on himself.
Oh Jesus! It's probably like buried under all that ball.
Right, it is.
How did that fucking happen?
God works in mysterious ways, just like in this film.
God has a great sense of humor. Let me make this guy's ball real big.
He's like laughing and stuff, doing backflips.
He's just like,
and Jesus is like has his arms folded, and he's really upset at his father.
He's just got like a little smile on his face, and he's watching like all like.
And he puts his hands in front of his mouth and titters. He's like hee hee like that. Anyway,
as the guy's like crying and peeing on himself.
Anyway, so
I don't know how to get to that point.
I don't know. You figured they would hack it off
at that point.
You figured they would hack it off at 50 pounds. Anyway, so Johnny decides to drive back home. It's a rainy night, and his girl actually. I'm just gonna get stuck on that girl. They make women look really bad in this film.
She's okay. What do you mean?
No, I don't mean ugly. I meant just the actions that they take in this film. Like either they're cheating on their husband, or
oh yeah, they did kind of make her like a bit of a hussy,
or a mother like she's while the son's in the other room. That's a funny thing. We'll get to that. So he's driving, and this tanker driver, is that right? Tanker truck whatever.
Yeah, it's an 18-wheeler.
He swerves off the road. I don't understand is why don't they fucking press the brakes? Why do people?
Yeah, no, he really
to,
could have though. He had plenty of warning.
Yeah, there was like no other cars on the road, and this douchebag, you know, that's like I think Stephen King uses a trucker in his stories to always facilitate something in it.
Yeah,
and,
they're either like killing little boys or they're alive and taking over the world.
I think he wanted to be a truck driver, not a fucking. Was he a truck driver ever?
No, he was a drug addict.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the same thing. So he. Oh, I have a brother-in-law who's a truck
Maybe he was a truck driver. Actually, I don't know.
Maybe he was a fuck diver, a holy diver. Holy diver. Anyway, so his truck, the front of his truck is normal, but the gas end of the truck, the tanker, starts rolling down the street, and it's raining so hard that Johnny can't see a giant silver fucking tanker sliding down slowly down the highway.
And it's very clear, and he has like a good 5 seconds that he could hit the brakes.
It's the only time in a movie where the second time in a movie where a car hits the side of a tanker and doesn't blow the fuck right up, like you know how they do in every movie. The only other time I saw that happen was Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, the remake. But
right.
He hits the side of it, and he just passes out. Sarah stands over his bed, and she's like, you know, don't leave me, Johnny. It's just funny because he seems like a 1950s name, you know what I mean, for a 1980s movie.
Johnny Smith.
And he loses 5 years because he wakes up after a coma.
And his girlfriend, what a bitch. She leaves him.
Married. You mean you can't wait 5 years for a guy? Well, that one I don't blame her for leaving. She probably.
I would like just.
She just wanted some
date people like casually and have sex and stuff, but still wait for the person.
On him while he's passed out, so she won't feel like she's truly cheating. She could
maybe. Do you think you get coma wood?
I'm sure, right? Because the blood is pumping. She could
why couldn't she just kind of facilitate it?
She could have gave him a hand job and then leave, and then the sheets all stuck to his genitals.
You see her like doing a 69 with him as he's like in a coma.
She doesn't have to wipe or anything because he won't wake up.
And then she has like a oxygen tank like also down there in case like when she's sitting on his face he needs to breathe.
And she has like a tongue depressor, so his tongue moves. It's up and down and stuff. Pretty cool. And then she puts like a voice thing so she can make believe she's talking to him. And he's like, "Sit out my face, bitch," you know, that kind of stuff. She's like, "Yeah, Johnny, yeah, you are the best." Anyway, so who really talks stupid shit in this show? Anyway,
the best idea, the robot voice.
So he wakes up from the coma, and his parents come in, and they're very nice. You know what's funny? I realized the doctor was like a Russian Jew, right?
Yeah,
is that
or
wrong?
some
or
kind
Russian
of Jew,
Jewish? Can I say Russian Jew? Is that the right way to say it? I don't want.
I'm a Russian Jew.
I want to work in Hollywood, and he, jeez, that was a horrible joke. And he, his doctor, what I understand is like a Russian Jewish guy, right? And it's like Samuel, like the head guy goes and he's checking it, but there's a picture of Jesus Christ on the wall. Oh, that could have been his parents that put it up there, right? I guess because they're Christians.
I mean, maybe he's just trying to not freak out the client, the patient.
He would have woken up from the coma with payas and a yarmulke on. He's like, but this is standard. Like yes.
He turned him into a Jew.
He's got circumcision.
He's got like the whole fucking hair things going on.
He's waiting there with a wife that has a bald head and a wig on. This is a good episode.
He's got like a little baby in a couch with those fucking hair things growing out of his head.
He has like Matis Yahoo records on the floor and shit. Anyway, this is a good episode. So he finds out that the fiance was, or whatever she was to him, Sarah, is married and she's whatever off. His parents are very worried about him. He ends up having a psychic fit the first time he has it when he touches a nurse's hand. He actually wakes up. That shit scared the hell out of me. The nurse is checking on him because he looks like he's sweating, so she puts a gold rag on his face. He grabs her by the hand. He notices that her house is on fire. He tells her that you can still save the daughter. And me, stupidly, I thought she just showed up to the house and the house was already cleaned up by the firefighters. But I guess she must have called the cops to see if her house is on fire. Saves the daughter. Word gets out that he's got psychic powers. And a press conference is held, and there's this asshole reporter. You think the reporter like fucked his sister or molested his sister, and that's why she killed herself? Because it kind of.
I don't know, but that guy was an asshole.
Yeah, because he was like, "You want to know why your sister killed herself?" And I was about to do the voice. And it all leads to him kind of just, I guess it's almost the kind of same vibe as Scanners, where these people have nowhere to go with this second sight.
Yeah, he's like an outcast. He doesn't want this shit.
Right. So it eventually leads to the doctor that was helping him, Dr. Sam Wysack. His mother survived the the occupation by, I don't know if it was the...
It was something with the Holocaust. It looked
but why the fuck would any army soldiers ride horses? That doesn't make any sense to me, but... I would think maybe that was the Russian army or something.
It was probably just like small invasions,
I guess,
in, like small towns. Who the fuck knows?
But anyway, so
the Holocaust didn't happen.
He tells us, Jesus Christ, he's Jewish. He can say that.
I am Jewish.
But the doctor, he finds out that his mother's still alive after all these years. Although the doctor looks like he's like 60, right, or something like that. And he decides that he doesn't want to talk to his mother because that's how
must
it's
be an old mom.
He's like, the doctor decides not to speak to his own mother because that's how it should be. And I'm like, what?
Even though she was like a teen mom, they used to have like a teen mom show back then. It was like they didn't have TV back then, but it was like in theater. You know?
No,
like,
they just walked them out in front of a crowd of people. Like, what happened this week? And it's like, oh, my husband is cheating on me. I can't do my homework.
She's like 14.
Yeah.
It's like what's her name? The girl who lives in the attic.
I was gonna say her name, but I can't
even think of her fucking name.
Anne Rice.
Yeah, not Anne Rice.
She wrote about vampires in her diary. Anne of Green Gables.
Why we're such bad Jews?
Oh, Anne Frank. Diary of Anne Frank.
Okay.
You know, in my school, I had to go to Catholic school when I was a kid, and I stressed the word I had to. And we had to read the book Diary of Anne Frank, and they made us skip over the part where she was having lesbian fantasies with another girl in her diary. And I was like, why we skip this chapter? And like, shut up, come over here, suck my dick. No. Anyway,
do you think any of your teachers were actually pedophiles?
I believe one of my teachers was fucking one of the young girl students. That's what I remember.
Really?
The way I think it was the son. I don't want to get sued, but he was somebody there. I was gonna say who it was. I was like, I can't. Anyway,
good for him.
Yeah, he was getting some of that A's, some of that preteen A's.
Actually, that's like really fucked up.
It really is. Anyway,
I'm thinking it's funny, and I'm like, no, that's not funny at all. Actually, that's terrible.
So, after all the horrible shit we've said, it's when a Christian young Hispanic girl gets molested. It's horrible.
I don't like molesters.
Speaking from experience, yeah.
Yes.
So.
I've changed my ways. Okay.
Here's one of the fucked up things ex-girlfriends do, because Sarah comes back, and it's been 5 years for Sarah, but it's like a couple of days for Johnny.
Yeah.
She comes back and she's telling him, "Oh, I got a son. I wish you could meet him. You'd love my new husband." He's like, if it was me, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
You'd like him. Like what? Fuck you.
But he's
That's
like
terrible.
But it's been 2 days.
What is she doing?
It's almost like the next day if you're dating somebody, and the next day you just wake up and she's married to somebody. You're still gonna have those feelings, and he explains that in the film.
Yeah. What a bitch.
And how dare she after 5 years? Anyway.
She should have waited though.
No, she has a past, dude. It's like, but she does cunty stuff. But let's get into his portrayal of Johnny. What did you think of?
As him as Johnny?
Yeah.
I think they did it pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I think everybody else who saw there was actually good acting.
Compared from what I remember of the book, I just wish that they got a little more into like the lead up to the end, because there really is more to it. It's not like you shake his hand and instantly it's like, okay. Like, no, there's like more. Like there's like a thought process, Oh,
really? So he had to put like shit together as opposed to it just happening.
Like, first of all, there was a lot more emphasis on the fact that he has a brain tumor.
Mm-hmm.
And like, or at least I think so.
I'm going
off of like a long time. It's been a while since I read the book, but like, I do remember more of a feeling of like, oh shit, I have to do this now, or I'm going to die and the world is going to end.
Yeah, I think that would have worked in favor of the film if he did that. I think it works the same way. It kind of seems like he makes a really brash decision at the end, but it kind of
but it wasn't a decision at all. It was actually like, you have to do this, but they don't get that across in the film as much.
The character's so concrete in the film that it, you kind of go along with it. Like, I would be kind of weird that he'd want to basically end his life by killing this guy at the end of the film, but then you realize all the shit that he's gone through the film, and he's kind of like, that's like his only pathway in the film. But if they played up the tumor angle, maybe it would make sense,
Yeah.
But they do hint towards that in the film anyway, and just saying he has headaches 3 to 4 times a day. and his doctor's like, oh, this and this, we'll give you drugs, and he's like, no, it's bullshit. But I think the film really works because it's compact and it gives everything, there's nothing that's unnecessary in the film, and
I don't know that it's a horror movie.
yeah, I would say I think anything that deals with supernatural elements in a film instantly elevates it, or what the opposite of elevating a film into a horror element when there's supernatural shit involved. Just because people like their dramas straight, they just want
ghosts and stuff.
Yeah, that's not a horror film itself. That's a romance film, though.
Yeah,
that's how they tag it. They don't call it a straight drama. You know what I mean?
Right.
And meanwhile, he wasn't fucking her throughout the whole movie. He only got to kiss her at the end. And so anyway,
cheating on her husband. What a Scarlet.
Hold on for a second.
Is that the word? Starlet? Scarlet?
That's the letter. Keep talking about the movie. Go ahead.
Okay, so I am a bunny. I am a bunny. Ah, ha, 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 ha. How are you doing? How are you doing?
So the wife comes back and she actually brings the baby with her to show him, and I'm sure that makes him feel really swell.
Yeah.
He's like,
this could have been your baby, but you were too busy in a coma.
And it was 10 months
ago.
ago.
I had it with this guy who you would like.
And it was 10 months ago, so it's probably a huge gaping snatch, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely the
why did girls listen to this show anyway? So,
all of our fans are girls.
Yeah, they're all fucking girls. Yay for women.
No, I just don't understand why they like us. We're like, maybe they're studying us because they want to take us down. They're trying to find a weak.
They take feminist courses and they play this every time.
This is like what they're against. We are the representative.
The evils of penis. Anyway, so the wife comes back, shows the baby. She actually sleeps with him because, why do we have to wait so long? She bangs him and she's a whore. No,
she's actually not. I actually understand where she's coming from completely. I feel bad for her.
Yeah, and because the same thing happens in Curious Case of Benjamin Button, where Claire, whatever her face is, she never got to sleep with Brad Pitt's character because he was either too old or too young. So she finds him when she's like about in her late 40s, and he's like 17 years old. So she bangs the shit out of him while her husband and daughter are somewhere else.
Good for her.
Good for them. Good for girls. They can pull that shit off.
Well, doesn't she? No, she's with him.
Who?
In that movie, they're together for a while when they're like the same age aroundish.
Yeah, but she doesn't bang him for some reason. There's always something going on, like either she's getting hit by trucks or some stupid shit. So
really? I guess it's been a very long time.
So the film switches gears. It's like there was a first act with him dealing with him waking up. The second act becomes this police thriller.
Yeah, he's got to solve the case of the slippery jacket killer, which they don't get into that.
Everybody always has great jackets in David Cronenberg's movies. Like, this motherfucker knows how to make good jackets or something like that.
Well, in the book, there's like an emphasis, I remember, that he has like a rain slicker that like they're trying to understand why is it slippery, because he keeps getting that word slippery, and then like you find out that
it's covered in semen.
It's covered in semen and it's glistening on his rain jacket.
But everybody has cool coats in this movie. So there's a serial killer that's been, I think, got up to 8 bodies or something like that.
Yeah.
And Tom Skerritt of Picket Fences comes up to Johnny and asks him to help because Johnny has moved in with his father. And Johnny's like, he's trying to... He decides he doesn't want to do this, so he moves out of town. Then he decides, does he help him before? No, he helps the cops find the serial killer. And the killer happens to be one of the cops, which I thought by the end of the first hour of the film, I was like, wow, this was a fucking movie already. It was done. Could have been a cool movie.
Yeah, they get much more into it in the book. That is a longer part.
And the mother of the serial killer actually, was facilitating his craziness. And which I thought was, another bad thing for women to do in this film. But the guys are all assholes, but the male in the film is a mega asshole. And Johnny ends up tutoring the son of this political dude, right? Politicado.
He's like some rich politician guy, yeah.
And the rich politician guy is, we get our first glimpse at Martin Sheen's character, Stillman. Martin Sheen's awesome.
They could have got, they didn't, I don't know. Martin Sheen, I don't like him in most roles, actually.
I don't think
Firestarter.
I think I've only seen him in Spawn and this.
He's in Firestarter.
I never saw. I saw parts of Fire. Once the guy's eyes exploded in Firestarter, I was out of there when I was a kid.
No, it's a good movie.
I heard. I don't really care for Drew Barrymore anyway. But
anyway, basically, the character of Greg Stillson is supposed to be like this like buffoonish guy. Like in the book, he like wears a hard hat and he like charges around like a bull and shit. Like that's like his thing. And like in the very beginning, he's like a Bible salesman who like kills some fucking dog and like kicks it to death, and it's like really messed up. And they don't like get into that at all. Like they show that he's like a little crazy, but they don't really get into it.
Yeah, he's a very the stereotypical George W. Bush before his time, two guns blazing in the air kind of hick.
Yeah.
And whilst Johnny is
Wait, I think George Bush is great.
While he's teaching this, while he's tutoring this kid, he's getting closer and closer with this kid who's shy and stuff like that, and he actually saves the kid's life by telling him not to go on this ice skating venture that his father was putting together.
Yeah.
And he finds out that his ex-fiancée, who's now married to another guy, is working as one of the press people.
For Greg Stillson.
So, and it's funny.
It would be awesome if after this movie they made a sequel and it was, what's that fucking movie, Final Destination?
Yeah.
But it's like this Dead Zone Final Destination. It's all the people that he saved from death now are being chased by death. And you just found like reclaim them.
You just found an unnecessary way to make this shit live longer. I'd watch it. Anyway, so it's funny because he sees the fiance he hasn't seen in a while because he moved to his own spot, and I was just laughing because there's like a really touching scene where he sees the girl after a long time, and then he gives a hug to the little boy, and then I was wondering, how like there's sometimes when I'll speak to a girl that I'm dating or something, and I'll just get an instant boner. And then I was gonna say a huge erection, but depending on which girlfriend you're talking.
Boner sounds more politically
correct. Just imagine he closed the door and he hugged the little boy and he had a huge erection pushing into the boy's stomach. That's funny to me. It's not funny anyway. And I think
it's funny.
I also had the idea, like, what if he was, he could touch people's hands and see what they did, like if it was POV, because he sees everything very cinematic, like a film.
Right.
And like, what if he,
touches our genitals and knows they're sexist?
What if he like grabbed like Jerry Sandusky's hand, and then he saw him fucking those kids, but then he realized he liked it, so he gives him like a thumbs up instead. There goes the third pedophile joke. There you go.
It's like he has like his own like psychic porn machine.
That's true. He's like
locks pedophiles since he doesn't want to actually become a pedophile. He'll lock pedophiles in his room and just touch them against their will and like see their thoughts and jerk off to it. And
pinching his helmet. Anyway, but that whole subplot, they catch the serial killer, then it becomes the whole Stillman episode, and I think it works. I like the film. It doesn't feel too 70s. It feels like everything needs to be done as is.
It was made in like what, 83?
Yeah, he ends up shaking Stillman's hand and finding out that Stillman's going to drop the bomb on some country. Do they explain it in the book what country he blows up at the end?
I think it's Russia.
Did you ever watch the TV show? Was it like anything near the book itself, or?
I never watched the TV show. No.
It starred Anthony Michael Hall.
But I think
one of the episodes, him and his
Anthony
friend.
Michael Hall, Dexter.
No, you're thinking that other guy. Anthony Michael Hall was Weird Science. I was gonna make a Weird Science joke, but now you just ruined it for me.
No, make your joke.
I was gonna say that one of the episodes, him and his friend Wyatt build a girl out of a computer.
Oh, okay.
With their brother.
Great.
Chet. Anyway, that was really good.
No, I mean I never seen the show actually, but I don't think it should be a show because then it defeats the whole like ending of the book.
The music is really good in the film too. Like, it has a very it's like like that kind of thing. So he decides his path is to assassinate Stillman because he asks his doctors, like, if you had the chance to kill Hitler, would you? And Stillman says, of course. I'm Stillman, and then his doctor says, of course. So his whole it seems a little bit rushed at the end that he goes to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not enough.
It does feel like they were like, oh, it's an hour and 30 minutes into the film. Holy fuck, we got to end this now. Oh, okay, let's just put it
from my memory, and I could be wrong.
He had a hunting rifle.
Comment if I'm wrong. The ending of the book, when he finally goes through with the assassination attempt, he is like dying, like really dying.
Oh, I see.
Like You know.
Yeah. So I guess they could have conveyed it better here, but I liked it.
In this, it's more like he's perfectly fine, seeming, except he gets a couple headaches or something. Like, that's what they make it seem like, almost, you know?
Yeah, I think in the film what they're trying to convey is that he's just tired of this life as is and wants to end it, and this is the perfect way to go out by saving the world. Although who knows? There's probably 50 million more assholes that are just like Stillman, who wants to take over the presidency.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think
I love the way that Stilson loses. Like it's not his shot. It's like ABC.
It's very funny because there's the final scene where he's shooting at Stilson, and of course Johnny's ex-fiancée has to be around at the ending to make it a more emotional impact with the baby. Stilson runs and grabs the baby and holds him up in the air, so using it as a human shield, which is hilarious. Like, who in their right mind would do that? That just shows you how much of a berserk this was.
Yeah.
I did like the painting of him with the hard
hat
on.
I kind of think I might do that.
Do that? Wouldn't you just do that in general? Like, if you're just crossing the street, you hold the baby in front of you?
Right.
So cars...
And, I'll, tack a sign to its head, in the soft spot, that will just say, don't hit me, I'm a baby.
You know what you do? Since baby skulls are malleable, when they're first born, you could just pinch it until they have devil horns. That'd be pretty cool, right?
I would shape their head into a big 1.
What?
And I'd make it wear a shirt that had a number 1 on it.
So you could say my son is number 1 all the time? Or?
Exactly, but
Nice.
I'd shape his skull into a 1.
Anyway, so the film, what's your rating on the film?
I'm going to give this movie an 8.
Mm-hmm.
An 8 out of 10. Politician holding a baby as a human shield in front of it as someone is shooting at him with a rifle.
I'll give it a solid 8. Also, in the slow motion scene when he falls off the top thing, you can see the stuntman's face. They should never slow-mo a stuntman falling down.
Did they really?
Yeah,
I didn't
you
even
can see it's a completely different guy. I give it a solid 8. Receiving your superpowers while riding on a roller coaster with your girlfriend. And with that, our next film is Rabid by David Cronenberg. So, Danny, what's the final word?
Flint.
God damn it.